Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Man, you're so quiet. What's going on?
Me? Oh, I don't have my microphone in front of me.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah, that's a little better.
Cool, cool, cool.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. I'm so itchy. I just got a haircut and I didn't have time to go take a shower, so I'm
Oh,
just
yeah, that's great.
I'm just like covered in hair. I had to like clean out my ears so I wouldn't get like hair
Oh,
hair all over my earbuds, you know?
oh,
Well,
that's yeah,
I didn't want to get hair on. These are newer earbuds. I don't want to get hair in.
that's fair. I mean, I haven't had a short haircut in 15 years, so I don't remember that specifically
Yeah. Well,
being an issue.
it's bad because like not only do I get short haircuts, but my hair is also very coarse. So like it
Hmm.
actually almost like it's almost like a sliver. Like you'll like my wife when she cuts my hair, she'll actually get slivers in her hand. It's almost like I'm like a porcupine.
Yeah, that's your mutant power.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, great, I got one of the shitty powers.
Yeah. I'm like Meg from Family Guy, who all she had was the nails that grew longer and she could scratch people.
Yeah, that'd be more useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I am ready, I believe.
Cool. All right.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
He's dying. He's
That
dying,
hurt.
everybody.
That's just a Tuesday.
Okay. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Final Checkpoint podcast. This is episode number 47. Each and every week, we react to some of the latest video game news and talk about games we are playing. My name is Joel.
And I'm Ben.
You can find new and old episodes of this lovely podcast on Spotify, Apple, Google Play, Stitcher, and thegamefanatics.com. Apple Podcasts.
It's just like Apple.
You can find it in an Apple.
He's having a stroke, just naming things he sees.
Yeah.
Lamp.
I took that out of the intro because I feel like I used to always say Apple Podcasts, or maybe I just said it by nature, but
I don't know.
GameFanatics.com. You can also be watching live on twitch.tv/loadlastcheckpoint. So don't forget, you can tune in, watch it live, hear all of the mess ups and non-edited versions of this podcast before I go in and take out all the stupid things we say that don't make it to air, which most of the
I'm
time
sure you edit
it all
nothing
makes
out of it.
Yeah, rarely do I
changes.
ever. Anyways,
that one time we went on a racist tirade for 30 minutes. Like, I had to edit that out. Whoa.
Yeah, I really hate dinosaurs.
I hate insects, so it could happen.
Oh,
it could happen.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that one day.
Fuck bugs. That's my 2020 Steam.
Oh my god, so we had this giant wasp nest in our backyard. We didn't know where it was, but it was hiding in one of the this weird little corner in one of our this little pergola area where we have our hammocks.
Pergola.
Yeah, it's like a pergola. You know, it's like a shaded area made out of wood, basically.
Is that what it's called?
This is what I've been told. I'm just calling it from what I've been told.
I don't know if you're wrong or right. I'm looking up.
I'm pretty sure I'm right because I think I looked it up when I heard that and I was like, what is that?
Pergola.
What does that even mean?
It's like a. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it's like a mini one because it's just for like these hammocks that we put up. But there's this little corner of the wooden frame and a giant wasp nest was in there. And so I got my wasp spray and I'm like, all right, I'm taking these dudes down because unlike honeybees who make honey and are, good for the earth, wasps are just assholes. So I'm okay killing these things and not feeling bad at all. So I went over there and waited for, the sun to set as it recommends on the canister because that's when they settle down. That's when they're all back at home. They're all chilling out. So, because there's a lot of them on there. And so once they all finally got on there, I started spraying.
Are you wearing like a mask or anything?
No. I did this as stupidly as possible.
Perfect.
I was waiting for shit to just happen.
All right.
So I sprayed it, and this thing foams up. Because you shake it foams up as you spray it, so it gets it tries to spread out as it's being sprayed and hitting the nest. And so as I spray it, because you have to be at a weird angle, there's 5 or 6 wasps that just flee from the top of the area. So I'm like, well, they'll be back. So I just go inside. And they eventually came out. I looked at it today, and there's a few on the nest, but it does say on the can that the poison is strong enough to last for 2 days as long as you've soaked it enough on the actual wasp nest. So, but they're so bad in just this area during the summer that so I haven't been driving my car around because I've been working from home and I haven't been going anywhere. So it's just been sitting there. They actually made a wasp nest on the inside of my passenger seat mirror.
Oh yeah, that's a common area.
Yeah, and so I had to find a way to spray in there, and so I did, and and then I was like, oh, so now I just have a dead wasp nest in there. Great. So I got in there and blew it out with my leaf blower, and all these wasp corpse just come flying out of the bottom, and I'm just like, oh god, I'm gonna throw up. It's so gross.
Wow. Yeah, I think that means you need to drive your car more.
Yeah, I took it to my wife took it to the car wash today because I'm like that poor thing just needs some sort of love. It's just sitting there. Anyways, that was part of my weekend.
I do remember when I lived in Idaho, there were a lot of wasps. There were a lot of bees and things in general.
Yeah. I'm constantly killing them during like spring and summer because they, on the inside of our fence, they make them in like the little corners. And so I have to go
Hmm.
there and just spray them, kill them, kill them. Just becomes quite a lot of work.
Yeah, and then a lot of bees over here. There are around, but there's considerably less grass and such.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess.
A lot less pollen for them to gather, maybe.
I don't know. I think there's plenty of pollen because allergy season here is
That's
just
true.
it's definitely here.
Oh, that's true. It's
Uh,
just different type.
it's just
What?
different.
But you guys have other stuff, right? Like, what have you run into like tarantulas or scorpions or anything like that? I'm like thinking
I
you
have
live in like
not.
the desert.
No, I've not seen a tarantula. I've seen a scorpion, but not personally. That sounds weird, but
Yeah.
my parents have found several. I've never seen one inside my place, whereas they have.
Oh,
Um,
weird.
and I've had friends who have had that happen as well. But I've been here what 12 years, I think, something like that, and I have never had a scorpion inside my place. It is a concern,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I don't want to think about it, right? Like, I don't want to think about a potential scorpion attack.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't want to think about it either.
No, not a lot of insects where I live in general. Like I don't see a lot of spiders or anything. I don't know why. Maybe that's a bad sign, but
Yeah.
I like it.
I still haven't watched Hamilton. I keep thinking about that.
Mm,
I need to watch it, and we were close to watching it, but ended up watching, like, pretty much binging this show called Alone on Netflix. Have you seen it? It's kind of like Naked and Afraid, but it's like these people are alone in the Arctic.
no, no, that
Oh my
sounds
god,
horrifying.
it's pretty good though. I
No, I don't
really
have
enjoyed
I
it.
don't have Netflix, so
You have Netflix? Oh my gosh.
no, because I had it for a long time and then I didn't use it for 6 months, but I paid for it for 6 months and now I refuse to get it.
Oh, it's such a bummer. They just put the Last Dance, the Jordan documentary, so I started rewatching that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'd watch that. I don't know if I'd watch anything, to be honest with you. I'm not a big TV show. The occasional movie. Uh, yeah, you know. No, let's dive in. Anything? I actually do have stuff, but it's more related to this news, so we can go into it there. Oh, I did. I watched that. Yeah, just a couple minutes ago. It's stupid. I I mean, just like literally, why do you care? I watched that clip because it's like a minute and a half, and my thought on it was, okay, that seems reasonable. Like, sure, you could do something else with your time and probably do like get something else out of it if that's what you want. That's not untrue. But it's fine to not want that also. So like it's just such a who cares? Okay, he said that. All right. Like no. Yeah. And he wasn't talking about that. Sure. No. And it's so nonsense. Like, oh, I saw something I don't like that I'm not gonna try and understand what he was saying, and now I have to alert everyone about it. Like, I literally, if none of you video game people hadn't have said stuff, I would not have known. This would not have been a thing. Just you're giving it oxygen. Why are you engaging in it? I honestly don't think it's a bad take. Sure, it's a little goofy. Yeah. Well, it's actually if it, yeah, but no, you can spend 3 hours a day knitting blankets, and now you probably have an Etsy store that's freaking rolling in cash. Like, you can spend your time doing almost any other hobby and probably have a marketable skill. So I get his point there. That doesn't take away from video games being a fun, great hobby. In the same way of like, if you spend all your time reading books, yeah, that's essentially a waste of time. Maybe you know a bunch of things, but what did you get out of it? Did you get anything more substantial than that? No, and maybe that's fine for you. Like, it's so it's just so dumb. Everyone has this. Let's think about something, and they just think about the first chess move, and they don't think about the second chess move. Where it's like, why don't we think about this a little more deeply, just once? Twitter, please. Right? No, he knows. He's not talking about that. I was like, video games saved my life. Like, he's not saying that they can't, and he's not saying that that's bad. Like, what are you? All these reactions. Yeah, these reactions are reacting to something that didn't happen. It, I think you got the. Yeah, I've never listened to Rogan, so I do not. Oh yeah, yeah. And I think that's more what he was talking about. Obviously, because no one watches the video. They just see that one line and go, "Oh man, I can't believe he said this." And I'm sure he talked about it for 45 minutes, railing on video games. Let me just get my tweet. No, and Elk. Yeah, I'm good. I don't hate any of that. I'm good. I t- the longest intro to the biggest news week of. Yeah, that's true. It's the Xbox Showcase. Ba da ba da ba da ba. Come on down to the Xbox Showcase. Take your seats. It's starting soon. Um, yeah. So this is about an hour of Xbox Game Studio games. It's just games. A lot of games. I don't think we've really talked about it um, at all.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really think so.
I don't think so. It's a weird week because I feel like this happened 7 days ago, and it was two, three.
Yeah, it was happened Thursday. We're recording this Sunday, so yeah, about 3 days ago. Xbox had their showcase. Everyone's been everyone in the gaming industry has been discussing it. I think it's our turn to give our take because that's
Mm-hmm.
really the most important one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
What? Let's start overall. And actually, I want to bring up. Do 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 do. Hold on, then while I find the tweet. Paris Lilly had a great quote about this showcase, which I thought was perfect, and I will henceforth read.
okay.
Okay. If you're already invested in the Xbox ecosystem and have Game Pass, you were cheering today. But if you're invested in another platform, like PlayStation, then the Xbox Game Showcase will have done little to entice those gamers over. And I 100% agree with this. I thought the showing was overall pretty good, good to great. I liked a lot of almost everything they showed. I'm interested in, and all that's coming in Game Pass, so I'm 100% in. I think and I already was. The thing that's most disappointing to me is that I don't think this show did almost literally anything to convince someone from the other side, so to speak, to go to the Xbox.
Yeah.
Right? There was nothing here that was to a Sony fan or someone who's maybe considering it. I don't think there was anything for them, and that's the biggest problem with the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as someone who's mostly like a PlayStation player, but a little, dip my toes in the Xbox ecosystem, right? Um, I've fallen in love with Game Pass as it's given me a chance to really try games that I wouldn't buy.
Mm-hmm.
It's given me a chance to go back and play like some Gears and some Halo, as I'll probably talk about later. And I think for me overall, it's given a lot of value to games that my kids can play without me having to spend all this extra money on games that I normally wouldn't buy. And I think watching this, I was excited overall seeing that Game Pass like logo on like all the games for the most
Yeah,
part that were revealed.
it was all of them.
As yeah, as a gamer, like watching this and someone who isn't sure whether I want to get a PS5 or a Xbox Series X. I'm still like that's still up in the air. Halo looked cool. There's Fable announcement. There's all these other games in the middle. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Oh, this looks kind of cool. Like, I'd play that. I want to try this. Like, and the idea that all these things are going to be on Game Pass already made me feel like I'm going to get to try these things. But you're right. Like, did it sell me on getting the new Xbox console? That's kind of like the big question everyone has, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think as like a showcase of games, I think it was pretty solid. I wouldn't say I was like let down. I would say I went in like cautiously optimistic of like, I'm not sure really what to expect from Xbox because I'm not super attached to everything or to like anything IP wise because I just
Mm-hmm.
haven't been embedded in that ecosystem or those IPs like other people have been. But I might see something I recognize, I might not. But either way, like I just want to see some cool games, and I think I got a good dose of that overall. But yeah, I think once we kind of go break down and really analyze some other things, I think we'll really get into like the meat of the like problem that I think Microsoft might have.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Well, start with Halo.
Let's start with Halo. That's where I wanted to go.
Yeah, this was, what was it, like 8 minutes? Um, something like that of Halo gameplay.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it again, like in 4K or whatever on my TV. Uh, I thought the gameplay, there's so much to take apart with this because the game looks very like Halo. It looks Halo-y.
Yeah.
And that is what you're talking about. Like that is the problem and the solution where people wanted Halo quote unquote back. Like they wanted a Halo 1, 2, 3 They did not want a Halo 4-5, and they got that.
Yeah.
But in getting that, they also got something that looks like Halo. That, Halo 3 came out 2009, 2008, something like that. It's not a new experience, and it didn't look like anything new. When I was watching it, I thought, especially because it reveals it's got a quasi open world in some respect, and I thought, oh, it's Far Cry, but Far Cry again we've had for 10 years.
Yeah.
At its after Far Cry 3, so this is what I want. This looks great. This is exactly what I expected and hoped to get from a new Halo game. But at the same time, that's nothing amazing. That's just, oh, cool. A Halo looks good. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. Like I'm not super sure what to expect really from Halo. Like what do I like I guess I haven't played 4 or 5, which I think I want to eventually, like to really get a good feel of like why people wanted this Halo back so
Yeah.
much. What was so wrong with what they did? And I mean, people that have played them and love Halo will be able to tell me that, but I think I need to experience it really. Because I'm playing Halo 3 and there's certain things that I'm like just not liking. As a person who's played other shooters, now that this Halo 3 is obviously a little more outdated, so it could be that as well. One thing I felt like was pretty comparable to Ghost of Tsushima when I was watching this Halo Infinite gameplay was like, it seems like they're also just grabbing popular mechanics from like Assassin's Creed and games like that and putting it into their game, where it's like, oh, I've got these missions, I can go over here and do this mission. It's like they've got that checklist thing kind of going, it seems like, and I think that might be really cool for Halo, but I guess I wasn't really sure what I was wanting, because for me, I just want them to make a good shooter that's gonna feel good. Like when I play Destiny, that feels good. The gameplay feels good. The story I don't like. And with Halo, it's kind of like, so playing through 3, I'm kind of like, okay, this story is fine so far. Like I'm kind of getting into it. I'm paying attention. I'm getting into it. It definitely does feel outdated at this point, but I'm keeping that in mind as I'm playing. So yeah, I think people that maybe like, I think nostalgic fans of Halo were really happy with what they saw, and I think there's another side of people that maybe want it to evolve into something different, that maybe felt like it didn't live up to the hype, or maybe they just didn't see enough to really be able to judge it from there.
Yeah, it was good to see so many minutes of uninterrupted gameplay, and gameplay that looked real. It didn't look super scripted, and like you'll see a lot of vertical slices where they had to pan the camera this way, and then this cool thing happens because of this, and this is very contrived. Whereas in this gameplay, it didn't feel like that, and you could even see several instances of the person playing it doing a melee, like they'd run up shooting something and melee at the end, but the guy was already dead.
Yeah.
Like, so it was very clear to me, like, this is someone just playing the game in a cool kind of cinematic way, but just a natural way to play the game, and that's cool. I want to see more of that, because that's something we didn't get a lot of from Microsoft or Sony in anything they showed, except for like Ratchet and Clank is the big example of actual gameplay. Let's see what it looks like to play the game, and I want to see a lot more of that. But I don't know, and again, it's maybe it's stupid, but am I really excited? No. Will I play it? 100% I'll play it. It's on Game Pass. Like, I'm going to play it. And I think that's kind of the whole Xbox thing. None of these games are, wow, I got to play that, really. But I'm going to play almost all of them because they're free to me. Yeah.
Not even
Why
the
wouldn't I
gunk
play
is
them?
worth playing?
I'm going to play the gunk. I'm going to get gunk all over me, and then I'm going to play something else.
What did you... So, I think people were a little... So, okay, so I understand why people don't like the sprinting. I had to look into that at first, because I was like, wait, people are angry that he can sprint? I don't understand what's going on. And then I I watched Chris Ray Gun's video about Halo. I read people's critiques about the sprinting. I get it. Like it ruins the pacing of the world and the map layout and stuff like that. Like, but that is one of my big problems with Halo 3 right now is like
Yeah.
I'm getting bored walking back to
It's not
my waypoint.
it's not that it's boring. It's that
it
feels weird. Like it just feels like, why can't I need to get a little faster. Why am I it feels like you're being, instead of I'm running around and now I got sprint, it more feels like the game is pulling you back.
Yeah.
Like, and I want to fight against it, but I can't. It's one of those things that as soon as you get rid of it, it's immediately apparent. Like, oh, I want to sprint now. I want to sprint now. And
Yeah.
I really, that's one of the biggest things to me going back and playing Halo, besides the like aim over the shoulder thing. That's one of the biggest things that makes it feel old. And I do like the sprint. I'm not like, I have nostalgia for Halo, but I'm not a big Halo person by any stretch of the imagination. So I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't even notice.
I think maybe they just need to work in the option to turn off sprinting so that everyone
You could just not press the button.
You could just not press the button.
That's the option.
That is the option. Yeah. I'm also thinking like, what if 343 just isn't capable of delivering something revolutionary for Halo?
I don't know, man. It's possible.
I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about that because I think I've been drawing a lot of the comparisons over to like Ghost of Tsushima a little bit. Like Ghost of Tsushima, like so far has been really cool, but it's not revolutionary, right? It's just what it does pretty well.
And I don't think the original Halo as a game is that spectacular.
Right.
What it did was more bringing first-person shooters to console in a relevant way.
Yeah.
You go back and play that game, I don't think it holds up at all. It's kind of bad. It's fun and like the combat's fun, but a lot of the other stuff around it is a mess. It's a giant mess.
There's definitely some things about the first Halo that when I go back and play it, because I played through it with my friend a long time ago, and I still remember like we like beat it in one sitting, and so I still remember like certain sounds of it that do bring back those nostalgic feelings. And I think that's a lot of what drives people's love for Halo is nostalgia, and wanting it to be relevant, wanting it to be great, and knowing that it's like Microsoft's, big IP. And really, like for Xbox, needing titles to draw people over that aren't invested in that ecosystem, I feel like they almost need Halo to be that big, reason to bring people over, and it's almost like they can't quite get there.
Well, I don't think they can, because there's the Halo fans, and the Halo hardcore fans aren't going to be happy with a change in the franchise that would perhaps bring in new players. Like, there's a couple ways you could change the Halo series, or the not gameplay, but kind of the style of the game, where you could make it a more narrative focused kind of like a Half-Life kind of thing, and it would fit in. It's got all the lore, it's got a ton of shit like that would work. But a lot of Halo fans probably aren't going to like that. That might bring in new people, but that's not like, it's not going to satisfy any one group. And so they're in a really tough spot with it. Honestly, I don't know what they do. At this point, you haven't had a game that fans have really loved in 12 years. So that's not great.
Yeah.
It's, well, I guess Reach and stuff, but because people really like Reach. I don't know. It's really tough thing to do, and I think they do need to change it up. And I think stuff like the grappling hook and making open world is a nice start. If you can nail the gameplay and the styling of the game and kind of expand it, perhaps we can get to something else. But does Halo even need to be something else? Does Halo need to be more than just a corridor shooter that has large areas sometimes. I don't know, but it seems they've suffered with an identity crisis for a long time now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe
Yeah,
go back to what go back to what made it good in the first place, and then we'll see what happens, I guess.
I think that's what it is. I
Yeah.
think that's what this is, and they seem to be making it as a platform, which is what they're also doing with Forza, and I guess maybe Fable as well.
Yeah.
And I guess they already did that with Sea of Thieves and some other garbage that I forgot. State of Decay 2, I guess, is a platform.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I'm interested in trying State of Decay 2 to see if it makes me excited for State of Decay 3, because I really did like State of Decay 1. Kind of
Okay.
janky. There's certain mechanics that I really didn't like about it, but I do still need to play State of Decay 2 because I was interested in playing it because I did like the first one. Um, and then to see, the teaser for 3, it's kind of weird with the lady screaming at the wolf, and then the
Yeah,
wolf
I didn't like
gets,
that, but
yeah.
everything else I liked.
That part was weird because I wasn't really sure what was going on, but
I didn't see the wolf. Like, I must have looked away and she's like screaming. Like, what the hell's going on?
yeah, I had to rewatch it to see that because initially I only saw her screaming.
Xbox really likes people yelling at the screen.
Yeah, like the what is it? The oh my gosh, what's the other game? Why can't I think
Oh,
of
a
it?
Hellblade?
Hellblade, yeah, like Hellblade
There
2.
was Hellblade, and then there was the guy at the end of the Halo trailer, the whatever. I don't know. I don't remember anything's name. But the guy who's just monologuing, the
Oh
bad
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Everyone's just yelling in front of the screen. It's very strange.
yeah. Um, what did you think of the Fable teaser? Did you think it was like just like
Uh,
or like
it
not
was
enough?
eh, but I've never played a Fable game. Maybe for a couple minutes. Um, I still remember when the first Fable came out. My friend was a big I don't know if he was a big Xbox guy, but he just had an Xbox, and he was super excited for Fable, and he gets Fable, and then I think that was like a Friday, and then on Monday he comes to school like I beat Fable. This game sucks. It's so short,
Oh
and
really?
I'll never forget that because Fable isn't a long game, but he was expecting this like 100-hour RPG,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and,
He was
and we had no idea that it was going to be like 15 hours. He was very upset.
oh
Like he
no.
was mad about it. It was funny. Um, no, I don't like Fable. For many reasons. I don't think the humor is funny at all. Like walking around and burping at people is fucking obnoxious,
I
and I
think it's
hate it.
funny.
I hate it so. I would gladly never play an Xbox game ever again to never have to deal with that.
Oh
Like
wow.
I hate it so much. All the humor just comes off to me as juvenile and stupid. So I've never even. To me, it's like a young adult novel. Like, why would I
Yeah.
even play it? Not like in the context of content, but like,
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that. Why would I? Like, I don't have any interest in watching My Little Pony. Why would I watch a trailer for My Little Pony? I don't care. Like, that's Fable to me. Whatever. Maybe this one's better, but they keep saying like we brought back the original humor. That humor's garbage. Okay, and I love British TV shows. Like, I
Yeah.
love like the In-Betweeners.
Oh, I
It's
love In-Betweeners.
phenomenal,
Yeah.
but this is garbage. Like that's not funny. Whatever this is not funny to me.
Oh
So I
wow,
don't
okay.
care. I don't care at all.
I think
And it was a very weak trailer too.
oh wow, okay.
I mean, if you're gonna that showed nothing. We knew this was happening. So what did you just do? Nothing. You did nothing. Cool. Great.
Yeah.
I
I
like
mean,
frogs.
I like the original Fable. I played the crap out of it. I got it on PC because I wanted to play it so bad. Um
Okay.
I guess I don't really remember Fable 2 because I know I did play it. I just don't know how much of it I played. Um I'm excited. I hope they, I think for me it's overall the mechanics and the systems that they put in Fable that really I think are fun. Like you
Hmm.
can I mean, I guess not the like the weird stuff like the farting,
Yeah.
but
Just why?
but I like that you can like you can invest not invest in real estate, but you can buy like a house, you can get married in the game, you can I think you can get married several times in the game. Like
Yeah. That was what it was, right? You could go to different towns and marry different people.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't see the point. Now, granted, I say all this. I'll play it. It's going to be free for me, so I'll play it. I'll
Oh yeah,
try it.
yeah,
Right? Why not? But I'm not excited about it at all.
yeah. I downloaded that one. What's it called? Overturned? No, not overturned. Oh gosh, I already forgot the name. It's the
Oh, the Obsidian game?
yeah, the survival game that looks like
Grounded?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Grounded. There we go. Yeah. Um, it's got like the I think it's like the game preview on, but
Yeah.
it's not live currently. I don't think because I went to go play it
No,
today and it.
it's coming out, but even when it comes out next week, it'll be early access anyway.
Okay. I still want to try it. I like survival games and that one looks interesting. So I'm
Right.
hoping to try
I
it.
want to try it. Hopefully, it's not too difficult for like a solo player because that Honey I Shrunk the Kids style is so cool. And that movie's 30 years old, guys. How did we take this long to get a game?
That's true. That's true.
It's full on. People watch that as kids and now have like grandchildren. It's so old.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
What did you think of Avowed? Avowed, I thought looked really cool.
Yeah, Avowed, I think, is not the sleeper hit of this, but is one of the biggest things. Honestly, we've Skyrim is 9 years old, and it comes out almost every year. Still, people still won't shut up about it. People love it, and
Yeah,
people love Obsidian, and we're gonna get what looks like a Skyrim, and it's gonna be exclusive to Xbox. I think that's huge.
yeah,
Like that's a big deal. If you make this game even an 8 out of 10, that's a like Skyrim is one of the most successful, most talked about games in the last 15, 20 years. I think you could have something like that on your hands, especially since this is a game they've been wanting to make. You know, Microsoft came to them and said, "What do you really want to do?" And it was this. That's exciting.
yeah. I like that. They're also they're. I know they're making DLC for like the Outer Worlds. I still need to go back and play more of that. Um, but I think it's just they have a lot more freedom, and I think that they're like it seems like they're kind of making just more polished versions of Bethesda games.
Yeah, that's what Outer Worlds was.
Yeah,
Or yeah, Worlds.
at Worlds, yeah,
I know I have to
yeah.
think every time.
And I think for me, the last thing that I was like excited about was that Dragon Quest 11, the definitive Dragon Quest 11S definitive edition or something like that is
Sure, whatever
coming
it's called.
to Game Pass. I think like in December or something like that. I think it was December.
Right. That's a great game. You should definitely play it.
Yeah, yeah, I will. I mean, by the time it comes out, I'll hopefully have less games to play. Maybe, who knows?
We'll see. We'll see how that
See
goes
how that
December.
goes. But I think
That was it for you though?
yeah, I mean, it was really hard to. I mean, everything else seems like. I mean, we got like a teaser for not a teaser, but like not much gameplay for Everwild. It seems like it's just like another trailer, so I'm not too sure exactly
Yeah.
what to expect from that.
Looks interesting though. I do love everything about it. I just agree. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not into like. I think it was. Tell me, is it Tell Me Why the
Oh, the Don't Nod
Don't
game?
Nod game? Yeah, I'm not super into like narrative games like that, so I'm
Oh, I'm
not looking
super
forward to
into
that
that. I'll
one.
be playing that. And I think the episodes are like weekly or bi-weekly?
Oh
Every
no,
other week.
if
Oh,
they can avoid the type of release schedule that
the
was
Life
it
is Strange games do. Yeah.
yeah, or even like Telltale games had because even that was
Which was worse
just
at
worse.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
I totally agree.
keep it on a tight schedule. Make sure. I mean, even if it's just like a month apart would be good, or even I mean, I guess biweekly isn't too bad because it's almost like a TV show in a way.
That'd be yeah, I think that's ideal. I'm super excited for it. I love Life is Strange, so I was gonna play it anyway,
I know
even if
there
it
was
wasn't my game.
the Medium looked interesting, but I'm not too
Oh, I think
sure.
it looks so good. That
Yeah.
there's like 3 survival horror games in this that I'm super excited for, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
And that's a launch around launch time game.
Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide looked
I'll play that.
interesting because it I think the guys that made Vermintide also, I think, are working on this, and that's kind of like Left 4 Dead style kind of a gameplay.
Okay.
So
They make a lot of Warhammer games, so it's hard to keep track.
it definitely is. Yeah. I know that name gets thrown around a lot. So,
Yeah.
but it looked pretty cool. It was a small little like teaser that I remember. From that
Well, there
game.
was that, and there was the one thing that got me really excited because I forgot they announced the sequel was Stalker 2. Those Stalker games are really cool, and I'm hoping this one kind of, almost in the same way of Witcher 2 highlighted Witcher as being a really cool game, and that whole thing, and then it spiraled out of control with 3.
Yeah.
This is like those. There's 3 Stalker games. Like it's not. This is Stalker 2 because the other ones are kind of expansions, but they're several years apart, and they're like full games each. They're really cool, like horror open world, different game. It's one of those things where we get a lot of Ubisoft open worlds and Sony Game Studio open worlds where they feel kind of the same, and
Yeah.
this has a distinct feel that is different that we don't get. It's closer to Metro, but like
Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard it compared to Metro a lot.
yeah, it's closer to Metro, but a more open world. Now, granted, I haven't only played the first Metro, so I don't know exactly
Makes
how that would
sense.
all. Yeah, but man, I was super excited for Stalker 2. Like, as soon as they did that, I was like, that was what that was. I'm so in. It's
Yeah,
such a cool
it looked interesting.
aesthetic and world.
Yeah, it looked really interesting. A lot of good stuff. See that like when you kind of break it down, you do go through it. There's a lot of good stuff that they showed, a lot of stuff to be
Yeah.
excited for, and I think a little bit for everybody, really. Like when you think about what they showed. Um,
Hmm.
but now like it comes down to that real question of like, what do I buy a PS5? Do I buy an Xbox Series X? Um, when you look at the value of for a consumer, I think it's pretty obvious. Like you get invested in the Xbox ecosystem because that's where you're going to find the biggest value as a consumer. Like if you're not a hardcore gamer, you're not going to buy all the new
Right.
consoles. You're looking for something for your
If you're
household, your kids,
if your
whatever.
kid is 14 and you're buying them a console, you buy them the Xbox because you just slap Game Pass on it and say, "Shut up, Jimmy. I don't want to hear about it,
Yeah, and isn't it Game
Jimmy."
Pass? I think Game Pass Ultimate includes um Xbox Live Gold, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think regular
Yes.
Game Pass does. I think you still have to buy it separately from Gold.
Yeah. Ultimate. It's yeah. I think you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah, because I didn't have to buy it separately, and I think altogether, yeah. So I think it's just so much value, and like, and I know that's already been said several times. Like that's the thing that people aren't talking about is like the value of Game Pass. How why isn't it talked about more? And like it's true, it's not talked about enough. But I think maybe like is that a good thing for Microsoft? Like they built so much value in Game Pass, which is great. I think it's the best deal in gaming. I like it really is.
Yeah.
But is it enough to invest in the new console? Like if you have a good PC, probably not, unless it's certain games that just aren't going to come to Game Pass Ultimate or that you can't get on PC.
It seemed like every game they showed said PC, right? Like this is also coming to Windows 10 or
Yeah.
whatever it says.
Yeah.
Um, and to me, honestly, I spent maybe half an hour yesterday or the day before looking at PCs, looking at parts, and I think I'm just gonna build a awesome PC instead,
Yeah.
and just play them all there. And maybe there'll be a thing or two that comes to Xbox that I can't play, and I'll be like, okay, I'll write that down and remember it for when I do buy a Series X in a couple of years, maybe. But everything's going to be on there. Like Infinite's going to be on there. Like every single thing they showed is going to be on PC. So I'll just build a PC. I'll spend a little more money and get something that's better than the Series X anyway.
Yeah.
Especially since we don't know the price of these things yet. And if you're going to spend $500 on this, well, I use my PC for other things too. Like you start looking at it that way. I'm probably going to buy a PC probably in October or so.
I think like for me, like I want to buy, like I want to upgrade my PC and definitely get something better. That's like my plan eventually here. But I also want to get a new console because I don't have any 4K devices other than my TV. And so I want a
Mm,
way like for I want a way to stream or play stuff on my TV in 4K, and like I currently don't have anything like that. I haven't
well, you can
upgraded to
stream in
PS4 Pro.
4K.
Yeah, but it's even then um with Wi-Fi, it's still not as great. Where like I want something that plays like a 4K
Hmm.
ultra or an ultra HD 4K Blu-ray or something, like just a device that I can go to.
Gotcha,
But
gotcha.
also like I want to be able to play those games on a console like in 4K on my TV. Um, so I'm like as someone who wants to get a console still, like I don't know which one to buy. I think
Right.
both. I think, you know, obviously PlayStation is going to have certain games that are going to attract me to it. I think Xbox overall is such a great value, and you know, with Game Pass and everything, is such an insane like value to want to even think of not, you know, why would you even not get it? But I do have it, and I have a Xbox, and they've talked about all these games coming to Xbox One, and you know, having the smart delivery for Series X. So do I need to get one?
Right. And that,
So
yeah,
that
that's the question.
yeah, and Giant Beastcast said this actually, the way they kind of phrased it made me think about it a lot. Is like when you think about Xbox versus PlayStation, it's more like PS5 versus Game Pass at this point,
Mm,
because that's, you know, with Sony not really having anything like Game Pass really, like as value wise or as good, because PS Now is, who knows the price on that. You know, it's
who
not
cares?
utilized very well. We don't know if it works. Like we have no idea. Like we people apparently have PS Now, but we haven't heard how it's working in years.
It's
Um,
fine. I'm sure it's fine, but I don't want to stream games, and it's not a good time when you're touting your console as this crazy 4K whatever machine to be like, well, you could also play it streaming, and there's slightly lag, and it has to buffer and looks weird. Like, it's not a good time to talk about game streaming. I don't
yeah,
think because it's visually there's no comparison.
yeah. I just don't think we're in a place where people want to hear I got, you know, streaming my games. Just don't think we're
No,
there, which is why Stadia is such like has such a stink on it.
it really does.
It really does.
It's gross.
Yeah.
So what the thing with me and the PS5 is I have no interest because I will buy a PS5 for Demon Souls, but until then I have no reason to get that either. And that's really also what's contributing to the I'll just build a PC. Like instead of
Yeah.
buying either of these consoles, because I was going to get at least one, maybe both of them, depending on how much they are. But I can spend that same amount of money and just get an awesome gaming PC. I'll just do that because I already have my graphics card. That does, reduce the cost.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a full build. That's half the cost is the graphics card, uh, almost.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's like that's also part of the argument. Is like, if I have a good gaming PC, then why do I get an Xbox or a PS5 to begin with, or why do I
Mm-hmm.
even get an Xbox?
I in pricing all this out and looking at it, I've been spending time on Newegg, which is my favorite website for this stuff. And the hard drives are a comparable hard drive to the one that's going to be in the Series X, which is half the speed, roughly, of the PS5, is a little over $100. Let's just say $110, $115.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the PS5 hard drive, it's like based on it's NVMe, PCIe 4.0, which is only available on certain AMD motherboards right now,
Jesus.
or something along those lines. I don't know, I have all the details, but it's like pretty new, the hard drive that the PS5 is going to be using. And I looked at the price of some of these hard drives. That's like $200. right?
Yeah.
So how much is this thing going to be? I am. That's the other thing with going to I'll just build a PC, because it's gonna be $600. I will just build a PC. There is no reason for me to spend $600 on this thing when I'm gonna play Spider-Man and then like what, twiddle my thumbs?
Till Demon Souls comes out.
And yeah, until Demon Souls comes out, which could be in years.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And also, as an aside, on the SSDs and no loading times and all that, I would love to actually to see how that pans out in actual, like in the actual game, because I'm sure Sony first party is going to be tackling that. But if you're also putting your game out, and I mentioned this weeks ago, if you're putting your game out on PC, if you're putting your game out on Xbox, if you're putting a game out on PS4, you cannot program your game to take advantage of that super crazy Mike Cerny, whoever this person is,
his brother,
Mark Cerny. He's a shapeshifter. You can't take advantage of all that tech because you have to develop for the lowest common denominator, right?
Yep.
And I also looked at a bunch of videos because I'm pricing this out. Like, do I buy a the PCI E 4.0 card, or do I just go with the 3.0? Is the speed difference that substantial? It doesn't seem like it yet. But then I also looked at it, just a regular normal SSD versus the NVMe drive you can stick in right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, the speed difference in loading times is almost nothing. If the game takes 17 seconds to load, it takes 18 seconds on the regular SSD. So it's not much different at all. The games are not being developed to take advantage of that yet. And that's a big problem for me too. Why would I invest if it's not even a thing as of yet? And then of course you look at actual hard drive speed loading times and it's twice as long. So console players are going to see a big jump. But if you already have an SSD, even a SATA SSD drive in your PC, you're not going to notice much difference at all. There's still going to be loading time unless the game specifically is set up to take advantage of that. And I actually hope I'm a little wrong about that, but I don't see any evidence of the contrary. I watched a lot of loading screen YouTube videos.
Oh my god. That sounds awful.
It's just the lamest thing to watch. But it really sold me. I'm like, oh, I don't need that drive at all. Like I'm not going to get that much faster speeds. The game's it's not there. It's not there yet. So we'll see. We'll see. That's the most exciting thing if they can actually do that. But I honestly feel like people are going to buy this console, the PS5. They're going to put in Valhalla and be like, why do I still have to wait 20 seconds for it to load? Well, you still have to wait 20 seconds. It's still going to be there. I don't know how you think 50 gigs are going to load instantly. That's not how a thing happens. I guess you don't need to load all 50 gigs, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'll buy it when I see it, but I see high-end PC games not doing it, so it's not. We're not there yet.
You know what? I'm not buying anything.
Take that,
I'm just
Sony.
cross my arms, sit here, and be like, I'm not buying shit.
There you go. Yeah.
I guess I'm still in that spot where I'm like, I don't know enough about these consoles or release dates to really want to make a decision yet.
That's the big problem.
We're getting closer and closer to the holiday season, to these release dates or console launches, supposedly.
Supposed launches.
We don't have a release date. We don't have a price, and these guys want us to spend our money on their consoles. Get out of here. That shit.
Yeah, and I think that's also why this show wasn't amazing. Is there's just those two questions, the date and the price, and I almost want that more than I want any game at this point, just to know it.
Yeah. I did want to ask you, you mentioned this during I think our PS5 reveal event discussion, where the fanboyism or like the hype for everything that PlayStation showed, how if Xbox had showed that stuff, it wouldn't have been such a big deal. People
Yep.
wouldn't have given a shit about bug snacks, stuff like that. Did
Yep.
you feel like that was kind of? Did you feel that at all with this Xbox One? Or
Yep.
did you feel like people were actually excited
No,
and
one
kind of?
hundred percent. This is the same exact fucking thing. Oh, the gunk. Oh my gosh, the gunk, guys.
I thought
It's
Gunk looked
remember
cool.
that Kina that Kina and the Bridge of Spirits or whatever.
Yeah,
And there's
that
that
game looked
other
cool.
game, Little Devil Inside, I think it's called. Those two games. People know those two games. That's on the same level of the gunk. Ain't nobody gonna talk about the gunk in a week.
Which
And this
sucks
is
because I think when I
it
think
looked
about
cool.
those games, I would rather play the Gunk.
I think I'd rather play Kina, but just because it sounds like Keenan and Kel, and I get excited.
Oh yeah, that's true. I remember that.
Who
I do remember that.
who loves Keenan and Kel?
There's a
I do.
place here. Okay. I have to say that too. Now that you said that, there's a place here called Good Burger.
Oh, nice.
I haven't been there yet, and it looks nothing like the one from the movie. But I thought every time I drive by there, I think about Keenan and Kel in that movie.
Dude, Good Burger is such a good movie too.
It is really good.
You know they
Movie.
made a sequel, but
What?
as a book.
What?
Yes, they made a direct to book sequel, and I read it. I have it somewhere,
You need
probably in my
to.
parents' house.
You need to do a live reading on Twitch and then
I
post the
would.
video.
I would. I want to do a live reading of Ready Player One because it's so fucking hard to read and terrible.
Oh
Uh,
Jesus.
God, have you tried to read that book?
No, I watched the movie and I actually liked it.
The movie's fine.
Movie's fine.
Go out on Amazon and just they have like the preview of it and read something on like the first 10 pages of Ready Player One. Oh my god.
I might have redeemed it
it's
for
so
free on Google Play.
Oh my god, it's so it's like that obnoxious guy at work that won't shut up about the most inane nonsense, and it's just that for page. Like I don't
Nice.
can't read this. Let me list all the movies I like, and even this movie, his unforgotten whatever that he made on an indie label. Da, da, da. I'm like, who are you impressing? What? Shut up. That's the entire beginning of that book. Supposedly it gets better. I'm not gonna find out.
Yeah. We'll just trust the
But
movie.
back to Kina and the Bridge of Forgotten Dreams.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. I think if Avowed had been a game from Sony Santa Monica, people would have been just coming all over the place. But the fact that it's here, it's like, oh, neato, whatever. I don't have an Xbox, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big problem. And I bring this up a lot too. There is just such a Sony bias. Not necessarily bias of like, I think Sony's better, but just people that are ingrained in the Sony PlayStation ecosystem in games media. There are so many Sony ponies. And even if they're like, yeah, I'll play an Xbox game, but there's just no one on the Xbox side. There's like Ryan McCaffrey, like two other people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's really it.
Listening to Kind of Funny's Xcast, I think I listened to it yesterday. Even
Yeah.
Gary Whitta was not like super jazzed about the conference overall. I mean, I think he liked Avowed. I think was like the main thing that he was happy with, and then other than that, he didn't like really anything that they showed.
I mean, that's the thing. I like to me, this conference was a 7. Okay, the PlayStation one was an 8.
Yeah,
and there's plenty of things from both. I want to play the majority of the games from both of those showcases. The difference is I don't have to pay for any of the Xbox ones. And that's a big difference.
yeah,
And even if these games don't look like 10 out of 10s and they aren't 10 out of 10s and they're just a double A or single A, whatever, that is so lost on people. I feel like, I know you brought it up earlier with people aren't talking about Game Pass, and they're talking about Game Pass as this is such a great service. I wish Sony did this. Or, that's so cool, but they don't seem to realize you could just play these games. It doesn't matter that they're not the best. Like they're free games. Why aren't you excited?
Yeah,
they're free games, and it's not like that's it. You don't get one free game a month. There's hundreds of other titles already on there. And so many indie, like that Carry On game, just came out. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah,
I downloaded it. There it is.
Yeah,
like that's so a Forager. You talked about that 6 months ago. It's now on console. That's on Game Pass. Like that's awesome. It's such a good deal, and that's why people should be excited about this. And I do think there's just such a whatever for these Xbox titles. No, again, No one would care about that cat game if it was here. No one would care. They only cared because it was at the Sony conference. And I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
Died right there.
I mean, and I say this only because I'm looking at the game cases I have. An argument could be made for certain things like, well, maybe Sony. I mean, I guess Sony should have something, like Game Pass. But when I look at the titles that they showed, or the titles that they have, like Ghost of Tsushima, Neo 2, for example, Last of Us Part 2, we got Spider-Man, PS4, Miles Morales, like those titles are few and far between, and I know I'm gonna buy them.
Right. And they know they can charge for them.
They know they can charge for them. I know they're gonna be good, or they're gonna be like, I mean, I know they're gonna be good. Like that's the thing.
Right.
It's like where it's almost like Game Pass is the place for games you're not sure about, or
Right.
but also when I look at the games that are really good on there, those are all games that I've played. Like I looked at all the Kingdom Hearts titles on there. I looked at Red Dead 2, Forager, for example. I mean, there's just certain games on there. Like I think for the most part, if there are games I'm interested in, I've played them. Where there are certain games that I just wasn't either interested in, or at the time I had other games like Red Dead 2 that I would rather have played instead of like The Outer Worlds or something like that. Like, so it's obviously still a great deal, but I think for Sony, that's almost where their argument might lie, is like, oh, well, I mean, we don't need Game Pass because the titles that we do put out that are ours, you guys buy because they're that good.
So, and they're of such a high quality. Yeah. And I agree with that overall.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's
like
crazy.
I don't know. It's weird. We'll see. There's still only like 3 games I really want to play on PS5. So
yeah, true.
But then again, I can say, well, I want to play all these Xbox games. Almost all of these, at least half of them, are only on both Xbox One and Series X. So I wouldn't need to buy anything. It's just complicated, and there's been this discussion of the big three are just 3 different takes on the industry as a whole, like Xbox as a service, platform jumping like usual with Sony, and then Nintendo underpowered portable handheld. Like it's just 3 totally separate strategies. It's really cool.
It is really cool. Yeah, I like it. I think I think the hardcore gamers out there that just get all of the options anyways are gonna be living happily. I don't think they give a fuck
that's
anyways.
True.
Like I think they don't care. They're like, you guys can argue about it, or I'm gonna have everything and I'm happy.
Right.
Yeah. I guess an argument can be made that I don't even have enough time to play all these fucking games anyways, so what do I care?
That is the truth.
It is the truth. It is definitely the truth. Ben, that was such a great discussion.
Yay.
I give it a 5 out of 30.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Pretty great.
Sorry.
I feel like the score doesn't match the headline.
Nope. Let's talk about Ghosts of Tsushima.
Good
Tsushimi.
thinking, sir. So I want to know how far you are. It's hard to kind of gauge, I guess, though.
Yeah, I'm still in Act 1. Let's see. I've recruited just the first 2 people, and I've done I'm up to part 4 of Ashikawa's missions, and then I just did part 2 of Lady Masako.
Okay.
And then the next mission is to free the blacksmith so he could join your crew, and then there's the other one that I forgot. But
yeah, well, you can do it in so many different orders, because I've freed the blacksmith, but I haven't done half the other stuff that you just listed.
So, and I've just been kind of wandering around a lot, really kind of getting familiar with how the open world works, and Really just trying to get used to like the fighting or the battle system, and I do really like it. I think that's the part that I've really started to that I think draws me into the game more than anything else is the battle system and learning to fight and parry better and how to attack certain situations. But you know, and it really is just like they took Assassin's Creed and made it just a little smaller and more refined, which I'm
Hmm.
okay with because I think that's such a huge lesson that they could almost take as like, we don't need you to make this giant fucking world. Give us a good story with good, like a nice area, a manageable open world that when I open my map, it isn't just icon after
17 question marks.
yeah, like that is so overwhelming. Where this is just like, oh, there's like 2 undiscovered locations and
It's
then
so
this
funny
marker.
when you clear an outpost and you'll go to the map and it kind of does a like poof
Yeah,
of
I love
clearing
that.
the fog, and it'll be like one question mark.
Yeah, it
Like,
feels
oh,
so
okay,
good.
it's fun.
Feels so good. It feels so different, you know, because everything else is
Yeah.
just so bloated with like random shit, and it's just really nice to like go into a game like that and be able to just not feel so overwhelmed in an open world, which is really weird, like compared to other games that they feel like they have to pack in more and more shit every second.
Mhm. And this game, like, it's not that the world is empty. There's just not a ton of question marks all around, but exploring it and just seeing cool trees is neat. It reminds me of Breath of the Wild, where I'm just gonna pick a direction and what's that tree? That's a weird tree on top of this hill. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go over there and see what that is, and so I'll find some bird along the way and I'll follow the bird, and it's kind of this whimsical. Oh, what's over here? And I really enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think you know, it's like I think it's a good game. I think I don't think I'm blown away yet, and maybe I just haven't gotten to that point where like everyone else is, and I think other people have mentioned that comes
Mm.
around like Act 2, but um I'm having a good time. I still pulled myself away to play a different game and maybe just like I don't know. I didn't fully like dive in and get addicted and play like, oh, I'm gonna play like 6 hours in one sitting. Like I think I played it in small chunks because like that was enough. It was enough for me.
Uh-huh. I definitely feel at the beginning, like the first, I don't know, 2.5 hours, basically my first play session, I ended that and I thought, okay, well, that was whatever. And it wasn't until the second time I sat down to play it where I played for probably 3 hours and I was like, I could play more of this. I could really just go to the next hill and explore that. I think that's so strong. That's so fun. Um, the stuff I don't like about it is oddly enough, a lot of the story missions just don't. I don't know. There's something about them. There's one where it's actually the blacksmith where it's like, oh, sneak out of the market area, and I'm like, I've never been to feudal Japan. Okay, I don't know what the market area is. I don't know how to identify that. So I went the other direction accidentally, not knowing where to go. And I don't know if I just missed it. Uh, but it was one of those things like, where am I supposed to go? You didn't put this on the map. And I find that happening kind of not often, but enough to where, like, where am I supposed to? Just tell me where to go. And I know it has the wind. And sometimes that doesn't tell you exactly, like, you're supposed to look around. Just tell me. I don't need this. I don't need the archers also shooting me. God, they're the worst. I hate that they make the combat go from being like, oh, I like this, to I hate this. I fucking hate the archers. They're just the worst. And it's not that like they hit me all the time, which they kind of do, but even if they didn't, every time I see an archer, I run directly towards them and kill them first. I'm so tired of it. They do way more damage than a fucking sword strike, and an arrow. Stop it. It's not fun to fight them.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
Did
And
you get the
maybe
parry for the arrow guys yet?
I just unlocked that
Okay.
because I forgot about it, and I was like,
The
I should buy
timing
that
the
because this.
timing is still a little hard on that,
I can't you
but
just block? Can't you just hold block?
I think you can. I've been like tapping it as I see them shooting at me, and I still end up
Mm,
parrying because I
Okay.
also got other guys trying to like jab me with spears and shit at the same
Yeah,
time.
that's
So
that's the problem. And like with the auto aim or auto lock on, you'll try and get to the bow guy, but then you're like rolling around someone else.
yeah,
Like it just doesn't know how to lock on to you. Uh, and I like the combat a lot when when it's working and you're parrying and dodging over here and then switching to this stance. It feels great. But then other times I feel like the timing's weird and off, and it has the problem. Forget what game. I don't remember what game it was, but there was some game where so in Ghost of Tsushima, you'll fight like a what are they called? The leaders? Whatever. The more in charge guard dudes. And they're
yeah,
like
yeah,
big armored men with swords.
yeah.
And they'll hit you with their sword and it'll do a certain amount of damage. But then if I fight like a regular man with a spear and he hits me, it does more damage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
doesn't it's not even. Um oh man, it's just there's something about it that doesn't work for me. I'm also fighting the camera a lot.
Yeah, in certain parts of it, I think because there's no lock on, the camera doesn't really turn with you, so you're left turning it manually, which can also kind of suck during parts of the combat when you're surrounded by a ton of people. So
Yeah,
so I've
and
run
there's
into that a
also
couple
like
times.
with the no lock on, and I posted the videos of this where I'm fighting this guy and he's on a ledge and I just can't hit him, and he's just swinging away and I can't hit the guy. It's so strange how they did it. Too, especially if you fight and there's two guys right next to each other, there is there's no damage. Like the guy you're attacking will get hit, but the guy next to him won't get hit.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense. It's very odd how that all works out. Have you done any of the duels?
Like against one of the bosses?
Yeah, and that's like the health bar on the top, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's another area where why am I not just locked onto this? Why? Because then like Jin will just turn around and face the other way sometimes. I was just
Yeah,
being a
I hate
weirdo.
that thing. I've learned to do like one-on-one combat a little bit better now with like the dodge and parry stuff, but there's still certain parts of it that I'm like, why did I just turn around and face the tree? That I
Yeah,
really hate. Makes the character look really stupid.
it doesn't affect the game because like you can still deflect attacks and all
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
it just looks real
It
stupid.
just looks dumb.
And I don't necessarily think adding a lock on would have changed you know what I mean? Like I don't know if it would have helped or changed that much overall, but there's something about it. Like obviously there's a lot of Sekiro comparisons.
Yeah.
Um and in that game, when I die, I feel like, oh, I screwed up. Yeah, okay. And when I die in this game, it's more like, God damn it, the fucking guy off screen or this stupid idiot hit me twice and I'm dead. Like, how? They also put the health bar so far in the corner that I have to look, like I have to visually move my eyes to look at it. It's so small and in the corner. Like you couldn't have put it further away. You couldn't have put it further away. That's a weird choice to me. I know you wanted it to be cinematic, but I cannot see it. It's so far away and it's so small. It's weird, and you have to constantly manage your health, like
Yeah.
because that's just a thing. If you get hit, like oh, if I get hit again, this might be bad. Let me heal. Let me do this other thing. I don't know. I don't think Sucker Punch makes combat systems I enjoy. This is definitely I do like this.
This is closer than
This
any.
is closer, but man, there's something off about it that doesn't quite work for me. The stealth is also pretty funny once you start realizing you can just kind of like run into a bush and they forget about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh, I didn't realize you were that forgetful. Okay, I'll do that then.
Yeah, I actually wasn't in love with the combat at first, but the more I've played it and gotten used to it, the more I've actually liked it now. Like I think I've gotten better. Like because at first the no lock on thing, I was like worried about that, but then once I figured out how they're doing it, and I guess like oh I got the parry thing and the dodge,
Yeah,
whatever, I'm good. Um, And I think for me it's just like I want this story to draw me in now, because that's really all that's left. Like I like the open world portion. I see the upgrading. I like how the upgrade system kind of works. I like the combat stuff. Like everything, it's all set. Now I just need give me the story that's going to really draw me in and really love these characters. And I think that's kind of where I'm getting, because I do like I like the if once you kind of meet Ashikawa, the archer, um I like that character because he's kind of an asshole but also kind of like funny. And so the more I've
Hmm.
gotten to know him, I've like as his story, I've actually learned to really like him. And then the other person that you meet in Act 1 is Lady Masako. I think I'm saying it right. Masoka, I think.
I don't remember
Um
which person is anyone. So,
but she's just a badass, and she's like an older, like, I don't know if she's a samurai, but she's just older.
oh, is
Uh,
she the one whose family was killed?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she's just like a badass, and so for her, I'm just like she's a better warrior than even this dude. And so like, yeah, I don't know. It's so I'm starting to really like those characters. I just want to. I think I just need to meet more of the other characters instead of it just being like random people on the street that I've free that were like taken hostage, because I've freed the same woman like 3 or 4 times already. I'm just like, how do you keep getting
Probably
caught?
have.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you captured again?
You ever? I feel like I've had this happen where there's just people fighting on in the distance, and I go over to them, and they both want to fight me. Like they were fighting each other, and now they're both fighting me. Like they were both enemies, and I don't know why they were
Oh,
fighting.
what the heck?
Like
No,
I
I
guess
haven't seen that.
they're bandits, and oh, I had this. This was cool. Like, this was a Far Cry moment where there were these two bears outside this camp for no reason, and so I went to kill everyone in the camp, and they're just preoccupied fighting these bears. I loved it. It's like, give me those free hides. This is awesome. Stupid bears. Picked the wrong day to do this.
I went to go like I saw this one guy battling a bear, and I went to go kill him instead of the bear. And as
Mm-hmm.
I went to go kill him, he had just died, so the bear swiped and hit me off the horse. I was like, oh shit, karma. And I'm like booking it, trying to like get out of there so I can turn around and shoot him in the head with an arrow. And he was running right at me. And as he jumped to like swipe at me, I let the arrow go and got him right in the head. And I was like, oh damn, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh man,
How do you
killing.
feel about like the side quests? Because I think a lot of the side quests or the what are they like the mystical weapon quest things are a lot better than the main quest stuff for me.
I like them. I like that they're not super long.
Yeah.
And they give you more of a reason to like explore. Because I've just been kind of wandering around and freeing people, and then they give you kind of like that hint of like, oh, go to this undiscovered location and things like that. And then once I went to one of the side missions and started doing that, I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty interesting. This is a little more involved than just like a side event. And um I just need to do more. I've only done like I think 1 or 2 of them, so I still need to do
Okay.
more of them. But I like overall the structure of the missions and how they're really doing the open world, and it's it just seems like a more condensed version of an Assassin's Creed game,
Yeah.
and it's more like consumable.
It really is. I mean, this is what I said about Odyssey. Why don't you guys tone it down?
Yeah, like like
And then
take the icon level, like you can when you're doing like photo mode, you can kind of like turn down the particle levels. Why don't we
yes,
take this icon one and maybe turn it down to like 50%? Because
right. There's
it's
just so
annoying.
much, and this feels like I can see not maybe not everything, but I know me walking in a direction. There's not 45 things to the left I also missed,
Yeah,
and that's a nice feeling.
yeah.
I do wonder pacing and all that wise, because like those quests say 1 of 9 or 2 of 9, obviously out of 9. That's how numbers work. Is it all in this one area? All 9 things are going to happen, or is it going to be like, okay, part five's in area 2? That's a question I have, but it's going to take me 7 years to get through Act 1. So who knows?
Yeah, I guess that's what I was worried about. I was worried like, am I okay to complete all of this one guy's stories before I leave
Hmm.
Act One, or what if I leave Act One and then I can't finish his stories? Like that's like I wish it would tell you.
I don't think. Yeah, I kind of wish so too. I don't think it. I know you can do everything in the area, and it's not a big deal, and you can come back. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
But there's also other stuff like the charms you can unlock, and I feel like I'm gonna find enough fox dens and things to have all the charms and have all the bamboo cut. Like I'm gonna max all this stuff out before I even get out of the first area. That's cool, but I don't know if that's the right decision yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Certainly is different.
I think I might end up there as well.
Yeah, but I do like the game. I'm overly critical as usual, but I do really like the game. Mainly when I'm exploring it and when the combat isn't obnoxious with 7 archers. Uh, sometimes it feels like you block, but I block late. But
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't. It looks like the guy should have taken longer to hit me. If that makes sense. Like I don't feel like I'm late. I feel like the hitbox is early.
Yeah, I know I felt that a couple times too. When someone was like coming to swipe me and I know I hit parry right at the right moment, yeah, I still get hit. I'm just like,
Yeah,
come on, dude. Come on.
and all the other stuff is really forgiving. So it's strange. It's strange too because you can get hit in like a 3-hit combo and then be almost dead.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. Just doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah. Some fishy's going on here.
Something's not, and probably it's just I played too much Sekiro, but that's
Maybe.
probably the problem.
Maybe.
Would not be surprised.
Cool. Well, that's good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play more.
Yeah, I think we'll be talking about this for the next couple weeks, and that should be fun. I'm excited because I have more thoughts, but I want to see where it goes. I want to see how the story develops and all that.
Yeah.
Since it's a long game.
Well, Ben,
Mm-hmm.
as we move on to other games that we've played, I see you have Paper Mario on here. Does
Oh
that mean you
yeah,
used your voucher?
I used my voucher. Well, there was nothing else to use it on,
That's true.
so I had to use it. Um, I couldn't tell you how far I am. It doesn't tell you hours, I don't think. Um, I haven't even done. There's like I think 5 main areas to go to. I'm still in the first one, and it's just that every night I play 20 minutes of it, kind of thing, or I play it on the stationary bike, and I'm very slowly getting through this. I do like it a lot. It's very funny. It's beautiful. The art style is amazing. Um, the combat where you rotate enemies around on a ring is I love the idea of it, but the execution is a lot less puzzly. I don't know. There's something about that too, where like, am I dumb? Like I don't understand how to. Sometimes the enemies are in these positions, and you get bonus damage for putting them in the right positions. But I'll look at this and I'll go, I have no idea how to do this, and I have a timer. It's like you have 20 seconds. Shit, I don't know what to do. And then if I don't do it right, which does happen because I'm an idiot, some of these are I don't know. I just it's like a weird puzzle. I haven't wrapped my head around. Like you don't do a lot of circles, like concentric circle shuffling puzzles. So it's kind of one of those I have to train my brain to do it. But if you do it wrong, you don't get a damage boost, and then you're probably not going to kill the enemy. So then the enemy attacks you, and the enemies do a lot of damage. So this game, if you're dumb like me, can actually be kind of hard. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty funny.
Huh.
But I don't mind that. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna. If I don't know what happens when you die. I haven't died. Got real close though. Got real close because this is one enemy, and they're like several of them, right? But then they'll all hit you, and this one thing, all of them hit me for 7 damage, and I only have 50 HP, so it brought me way down. And it was one of those things of, wow, I didn't do that puzzle right, and now I am dead. And it just it's a strange feeling because it's not an RPG like level up sort of game. But again, I'm still very early, so maybe there's other items and equipment or something that I don't have yet. But it's really funny and cute, and I'm happy I got it. It's a nice little thing to do.
I heard the writing's really good.
Yeah, it's 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 really funny. It's worth it just for all the dumb jokes that are in it.
So the way the combat works, you don't have other party members. Is it just like the circle thing
Yeah, I
that I
don't.
saw?
There might be other. I don't know if there's. I don't have any companions. I know you get companions, but I haven't had a companion yet, so I don't know how
Oh,
that
okay.
works. But yeah, it's a bunch of enemies on 4 concentric circles, and they'll shuffle them, and then you can shift the circles around in rings, and you can also shift them like in rows.
Okay.
So you have to line them up that way. And some of the puzzles are like, well, duh, you just shift this. And then other ones, it'll be like, you have 3 moves to put them where they need to go. And I'm looking at this, like, do I move that or do I? And you can spend money. So I started doing this. You can spend money to give yourself more time. And I'm like, give me 50 seconds. And I just stare at the board like, what if I do? God, why is this so hard? Like, I don't know. Some of them are just so easy, and then others I just look at and I have no idea. Am I dumb? I don't get it. Why is this puzzle so hard? This is a game for children, and I'm not far.
Yeah,
I'm not far in the game. I'm just dumb.
I was
So
listening to the Giant Beastcast, and he was talking about, or Vinny was talking about how the game is difficult at times, and so his son is having a little bit of trouble with certain parts of it, but then he's like, because it seems like it's kind of meant for kids, but maybe it's certain parts of it are a little challenging.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens when you die. Like that's the thing. Because if I die and have to go back to a save point, that might be infuriating. But if there's more checkpoints and stuff, yeah, whatever. Kill me, fine. Maybe I should find out. That actually might be a good idea.
Yeah, there you go.
Just kill myself intentionally.
Jeez.
Like, what happens? Because I don't want to get hours into this and fight a boss and then be like, oh no, I've made a mistake.
Cool, cool. All right.
Yeah.
So more to come later.
More to come. Oh yeah, very slowly. Again, I maybe half an hour a day.
Okay.
Maybe. It's like I play it before bed. Pretty much.
Okay. I played Halo 3.
Wow. New game.
New game, yeah. I
Kind
streamed
of new.
I streamed maybe like almost 2 hours last night of just playing it, and then I played maybe a couple more hours before that. Um, I just wanted to, because I played through Halo 1 with my friend. I played through Halo 2, I think, with him as well. I think we just rushed through it when it released. So I still remember that for the most part, like not the complete story, but just enough of it. So when I started Halo
Sure.
3, which Halo 3 I think I started it before. I don't really remember it very well because when I started it again, I was like, I don't remember any of this shit. And so I've been playing through it, and that's where I kind of felt like some of the limitations of like I can't run. I really have never liked the fact that when I aim down sight, it's clicking the what is it,
Oh
R3 or
yeah.
whatever. Like that's never felt great. I'm still mixing up the buttons to throw the grenades. Like certain things about the game like are a little weird, but
I
I've
feel
gotten
like
used to it.
every other Halo game changes the button for a grenade or for something else. So
Maybe,
it's hard to
yeah.
play them all in a row.
Yeah, but I like it. I mean, it's just like it's just a shooter. Like that's why I'm not like super
Yeah.
sure what people really want out of a revolutionary Halo, if that's really what they're looking for, because I'm like,
I need to
okay,
make
this
it
is,
like Half-Life, I'm telling
yeah,
you.
like this is fine. Like this is a fine game, but like I could see myself also getting bored. That's why I kind of want to like play through 3 and then see what 4, like see the difference
I
between
think
that and 4.
I think one of the biggest reasons also why Halo became such a big thing and nostalgic thing for so many people wasn't necessarily like that it was a great game or that it um, made console shooters viable in such a real way, but was that you could play it with your friends. Like it
Yeah.
had that campaign co-op, and that was at a time when like what shooter had co-op throughout the entire campaign in 2002? Like none.
Yeah.
right? And it had that until Call of Duty started. Does Call of Duty even do that for all the games? Like, I don't think so.
No, at a certain
Maybe.
point, like you could. I don't think you could do co-op on the campaign. Like only some of them had some of that,
Yeah,
but a
I
lot of
know. Like
them.
Modern Warfare 4 did. I
Yeah, I think maybe
thought.
they added it back because like I know at a certain point it's like the only way I was able to do any co-op was doing like the Spec Ops missions or whatever.
Yeah, so they added co-op specific things. But this was the core campaign for all the games co-op, and I think that's a big factor to that because you also have the nostalgic moments of hanging out with your friends,
Yeah,
which has nothing to do with the game itself, but gets attributed to the game.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that's a big part of it. You start playing them by yourself and 10 years removed, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. Answer.
Feel like this? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, not to disparage it. Halo's great. I do like Halo. I actually really like 3. I played a lot of 3.
Yeah, I mean I'm liking it so far. I'm gonna try to keep playing it as I play all or play through Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to try Carry On because I did download that because I wanted to give that a shot.
Yeah, same. Yeah, one of these days.
One of these days, get to everything.
I want to get through Ghost, but that's gonna be a while. And then I bought Neo too, so yeah,
Oh yeah, we gotta do Neo too.
yeah, I got my copy right here.
Yay!
Yep.
All right. Um, did you want to talk about Scourgebringer?
Oh, Scorchbringer, real quick, it's in early access on PC, but it's part of that demo thing that they did
Oh yeah, yeah.
on Xbox. So I downloaded it there. This is a really cool, kind of like the Messenger if it was a a roguelike game.
Hmm.
So you're just exploring the different rooms, kind of the Metroidvania map style, and you can double jump, dash in the air, slash things real quick, dodge out of the way, and it feels so good. Like, definitely look up a video of it, look at it, and understand that it feels real good to play this game. Uh, it's pretty cool. I think it's one to look out for. And you can buy it on Steam right now in early access and play it. But I don't know how long the demos are going on for Xbox. I think it might be only a couple more days, but I do recommend checking that out for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes just to see it. It's pretty cool. They got something here that could be a Dead Cells, potentially, kind of thing.
Okay. I will have to check it out.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful art, too.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Ooh.
Well, anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right.
I don't think I played anything else. If I did, I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I didn't really play anything else. So I guess we can go ahead and wrap it up unless there's anything else that's not gaming related that you wanted to talk about.
Nah.
No? Cool. All right.
Wrap it up.
All right. Yeah, we've gone pretty long already, actually. So a lot
did
longer
this
than
beat
usual.
the PlayStation episode?
Shit, I think it did. We're like at an hour and a half, I think. So.
Oh no, PlayStation.
Pretty long. Well, we had to cover. I think we covered Ghost of Tsushima as well. So we had the conference and Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, that's
time,
true.
so
Yeah.
we had a little bit of a rant in the beginning too, of weird random shit that I don't even remember anymore.
Dude, bugs are stupid.
And wasps, yeah, wasps especially. Anyways, that's gonna do it for us this week on Final Checkpoint Podcast. Thanks again for listening and of course sharing the podcast. We appreciate all the love and support. Of course, you can reach us over at thegamefanatics.com. You can also email us at finalcheckpointpod@gmail.com. You can tweet at me at thejoelness. You can tweet at Ben Runnings. You can also tweet at us with hashtag finalcheckpoint. You can also find us live when we record on Sundays on twitch.tv/loadlesscheckpoint. We will catch you guys next week.
You should probably specify a time when you say that.
Gosh, here we go. 8 p.m. Pacific time for the live stream.
Okay.
Generally.
I had to do some math there, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Goodbye. Good luck and good morning? No.
Good morning.
Good night. Ah!
Oh no.
Oh no.
What time is it? I don't know.